Maybe we shouldn't talk about it
Okay.
on air.
Yeah, I definitely want to. You might want to cut that out just because all of it's pre-production. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. It's behind Patreon.
Welcome, everybody, to a Blunts with the Boys with your boys, Brendan Sagalow, joining me as always.
Mike Feeney, and also
Frank Rigaton. No, I'm kidding. I told it's Mike Cannon. I told Brendan, I go, I'm gonna do the whole episode as Frank Rigaton, and he was like, "Please don't." He was immediately sincere.
Oh, I was gonna say, do it. That would have been fun.
I would love to.
I encourage character work in this.
Okay, Feeney, thank God you're my friend, because Brendan just goes, we're not Rad Dude Cast, and I was like, oh, do they do characters? And he was like, I think that's what they do.
No, they have fun on their podcast.
Yeah,
sorry.
We have fun on our podcast too.
Sure,
we're not.
But don't we want to green light silliness? Isn't that what it's all about?
This is supposed. This episode, these kinds specifically, the Blunts with the Boys, is supposed to be. And anything go. This is the Rad Dude Cast. You know what? Going forward is the Rad Dude
Welcome to the Rad Dude Cast, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm one of your hosts, Greg Stone.
No, it's us.
Brendan
it's still
Sagalow.
us.
Brendan, what we're doing is we're stealing their show, and we're the new host.
Stealing their essence, not their show. Just
their show.
Essence.
We're stealing their show, and we're putting it on for Friday on our Patreon. This is now the Rad Dude Cast Fridays.
Well, then we should start. Well, I'm coming in with characters next Friday. All three of us.
I mean, wasn't that the whole point of this entire argument?
Yes, it was that we should start doing that. We can't do it now because, of course,
I guess we
crazy.
can't jump in
Just
unless
start
we
talking in an accent.
Oh, hey, welcome.
I just you're like, okay, 3, 2.
What?
It might go a little something like this.
Dude, I would love to eventually, I don't know how this would be achieved, but I would think it was so funny to put out a comedy sketch of all the recorded stuff, but in scene order, like the minutes before somebody even acting the scene where the director's sincerely trying to present the emotion and the tone of what they're trying to convey. And then the actor's sitting there soaking it up and listening. And then they're like, all right, what's up? I'm Frank Rigaton. It's just some retarded
dude. You guys have all seen that video of Leonardo DiCaprio behind the scenes at Wolf of Wall Street, where they're about to do that scene where he's walking backwards and he's talking about everything, and they're filming him, and he's just they're getting ready, and he's just looking down, and he's just looking straight down, just thinking, obviously, and they're like, action. He's like, hi everybody, and he just goes right into it. Oh, I'll send that to you guys.
Would love to see it.
I thought I sent that to you guys.
No, that's your other best friends, I guess.
Oh, that was
maybe
Nick
it was Luke. Maybe you sent it to Luke. I'm getting real jealous of your relationship with Luke. All right,
explore that.
Yeah, let's go, dude. I thought we were gonna do questions.
I'm just getting silly. I'm actually more jealous that I'm not better friends with him. I love Luke. I would love to be friends with him.
He's so great, man.
Yeah, he's good people, and I find him very funny.
I'm actually subconsciously keeping you guys apart.
I know.
It's so funny you say subconsciously when you meant actively.
Yeah, actively and out loud.
Yeah, he's always like, let's call Cannon and Feeney. And I was like, they're sick.
Well, he'd be the sneaky tall raccoon with him,
of course.
He's
the not so sneaky tall raccoon.
Yeah, you guys would call him the retard candle or something. I'm like,
no, we'd be nice
he's the
to
pony.
him.
He's the pony.
Yeah.
No, he's a horse.
We'd call him the handsome Clydesdale.
Oh, he is a handsome young man, isn't he?
Yeah.
I forget that he's young because he's so tall. Because when he's taller, he looks older. So I can be
they die young.
Oh, he's super dead early. Yeah.
No, tall people die young because their body has a tough time circulating all the blood.
Yeah,
that's what you.
I mean, if he makes it to 60, God bless him, but I don't see it.
I don't see it either. And frankly, I find him to be probably not able to walk way earlier than that because tall people have feet problems.
And more importantly, back.
I bet the balls of his feet and his discs just shoot out of his fucking lower lumbar, and the balls of his feet erode like a meth man's teeth.
Yeah. And also, if he ever breaks his
I really found the end of that sentence somehow.
I also don't think he's going to. I don't think he's going to live that long because if he ever breaks his legs, we have to shoot him. Like a horse, you see.
Don't talk about Luke that way. I'm going to tell him you said that. I'm going to tell him you said that and get in good favor with him.
Tell him I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, you do. It'd break your heart.
I just want to let you guys know on a side note, there are giant there's a big thing happening here with this Yankee game. So if for some reason I exclaim in ecstasy, this is a byproduct of that.
You know, it'd be a big thing if you gave a fuck about the show.
Yeah, I'd really love it.
That would be a huge thing.
What do you mean?
I'd really love it if you gave a fuck about the show.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
What do you mean? Mike, I know what you mean.
Wait, you know who means? Yeah. I mean or he means?
Yeah, you mean or who mean?
No, he means on first.
We're just human means. Fuck.
Human is the word. That would have been it.
You means.
You said human.
Brendan, I know you're not a horse, but sometimes you should be shot.
Yeah, because my brain is broken.
Yeah, you'd be the first horse to to be shot for a mental disability.
This horse is gonna make us retarded glue.
Yeah, nobody sniffed this glue.
Brendan, you have 200 to 300 questions you prepared?
I have tons and tons and tons of questions.
Oh my goodness, you have as much questions as you weigh.
I knew that was coming. I was like, here we go. As soon as I mentioned tons, pounds, as a fat guy, you have to really look at your own dialogue.
Anytime there's numbers involved, it's never going towards age.
I can't even tell people to wait. All right, here we go. What if you could upload, or what if we could upload our consciousness into a machine and you could live an extra 20 years as a robot? Would you do it?
Yeah.
An extra 20 years.
Especially as a robot. That's great. I don't have the limitations of my physical body. Let's go.
Well, that's the thing. What kind of robot? Like, are we C-3PO? Are we a fucking rolling garbage can? Or are we an iRobot?
They said it's our personality, whatever in there. So I assume it's doing everything that we're doing.
So Brendan is a rolling garbage can. And now real raccoons and future raccoons will eat out of them. Dude, that was incredible.
Thanks.
That's good.
Good job.
I knew I could do that, and I was like, I'll never be able to do this at any point.
Wow.
So I'm very happy we walked right into that.
You told your inner voice.
I think with the robot thing, I think it's probably with money. So it's like if you have a lot of money, you could probably be put into like a really cool kind of robot, but we're all going to just be like the basic C-3POs walking around and shit.
That sucks. But I guess, 20 years is 20 years. I'd kind of like to see what happens.
True.
Especially if it's a guaranteed, that's nice, a guaranteed 20-year shelf life. So where you don't have to live like 80 more.
Imagine not having to piss or take a shit for 20 years. You're like, God damn, sign me up.
But what if you have to like dump cachet,
What do you mean?
That was a computer joke from an IT guy.
That's funny. What if you have to clear your cache?
Yeah, what if you have to defragment? What would you do?
What do you have to shock your PRAM?
I think what happened too is I think like we'd all get addicted to living longer, and then like companies would put out shit where they're like, buy a better arm, because you'd start feeling your arm. It would be like being a human.
Do you think they would sell
my robot arm is weak?
Right, but do you think their first thing that they'd offer you is a better arm or a better internet?
Oh, me?
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah, well, that explained that doubled down the joke. That was fantastic.
Me?
Oh, so Brendan is with us 3 minutes later after each sentence. So, Feeney, you're going to have to go after I speak every time.
You got it.
What about now? Shit. Fuck.
Oh well.
All right. I guess I'll just ask the questions from the past.
We can hear you great.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
You just freeze
like this. Like
so just
around
be careful about your face because you're freezing in some pretty unfortunate,
pretty compromising
expressions.
positions.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. All right. What if you grew up with different parents? What would you miss most?
My parents?
I don't know. This is a weird question.
What other answer is there?
That
was more specific thing.
That was the best question and answer in the history of this show.
God, boy.
I mean, truly bananas. Brendan folding in on himself after you just say my parents was choice.
Well,
It
no,
never
you see, you
occurred
have
to
to.
him. No, I mean like invisible impact that they've had on you, or
Quantifiable, justifiable numbers.
Yeah, there's really nothing else to say unless you like get into how they look. Like, I would miss my dad's mustache, I guess.
Yeah, I'd miss my mom's big fat tits.
All right,
she's flat. That's why that's not weird.
It's weird.
It's definitely still
it's weird the entire way.
It may be more weird because it's almost like you're adopting a fantasy to it. And now you see.
No, I just think about sometimes when I think about my childhood, I just remember that I sucked on my mom's big fat tits, even though she's flat. That's not weird, right?
Oh, wow.
Big flat tits, I see.
Right. No, they're big voluptuous tits in my memory, but in reality, they're not. That's a fantasy.
Do women with smaller chests give out less milk?
Well, I mean, sometimes women don't produce milk at all, which I think is like hard for them emotionally and mentally sometimes also. But
these are lactose intolerant women.
Yeah, but the tits get huge
in
birth, during pregnancy. Yeah, they get. I mean, that's like half the fun. That's half the fun of pregnancy. You get to bat those around.
In that Richard Pryor, Robin Williams set that I sent you guys, I gotta watch that. Responded
to.
Yeah,
me too.
It was Robin Williams it was filmed. It's in a weird time, man. Comedy Store, sold out, main room. And what's going on, Brendan?
I'm laughing at the way you said that. It was a weird time, man. You went to the 70s.
Yeah, I was trying to be there still, but it was being silently laughed at.
First of all, there was nothing silent about it.
Yeah.
So it was about as discreet as Brendan walking on a wooden floor.
There's a cat under his foot on that wooden floor. So it's taken place. It's like 2 years maybe after Pryor burns himself up and he's sober, and it's when Robin Williams' wife was like 9 months pregnant with their kid, because he was being like, I should be home, maybe it was 7 or 8 months, whatever. But it's like right when she could have had the kid at any moment. And he was talking about, he does a whole bit about the tits and stuff. But it's weird because you could see I think they each do 10-minute sets or whatever. But like, it was weird to watch Richard in the beginning. He's very like cold, like, and slow and just not fucking there yet. Like, you could tell he was feeling a little uncomfortable, felt a lot of pressure. He got a crazy standing ovation. So you could tell he was like, but then 2 minutes in, you watch him get into it, and then it's just all of a sudden you're watching him mesmerized for the rest of it. And then Robin Williams comes out, and they're both at the height. He's been off the show for a few years at that point, and their reaction is also kind of crazy. But I think they went crazier for Pryor, to be honest. But you could tell Robin Williams has this whole expectation of what he's going to do, and he definitely does not have anything planned out. So he's trying to do improv with a woman's shawl, and it's like he gets a couple, but then he also he says, I've noticed he says a lot in this just 10-minute set. He just goes, oh, I don't know. Like he like is buying himself time. Like he's just like, oh, I don't know. Gee, beautiful. Like whatever he says, and he keeps saying filler words and like stalling to be like, think of some, you fucking idiot thing or something,
Well, that's tough. That's the tough part about being like an off the cuff guy, is sometimes it's just not your night.
And I think they obviously taped it for something, because he ends by walking through the crowd like he always does. And there's like, as he's trying to talk, the last thing he does like kind of bombs. It like doesn't get anything, or it was like very specific. And then he says one kind of save, and it does well. And then it was like, and you could see him be like, thank God. All right, get me out of here.
Nice. I'm excited to watch that.
Yeah, I want to watch it right now.
Yeah, let's just watch that instead of doing the show.
Yeah.
We'll just play that video.
I was excited when I sent
screen.
it to you guys, and when you didn't write back. Let's do another question.
What if another parent's question? I think this one might be a little bit more specific, but what if you grew up in your parents' generation? What do you think you'd like the most? And I think with your little story that you just said, Feeney, I think I would love the stand-up scene the most. I think that would be so cool. It would feel like, and I was just talking about this on my Twitch, but like it would feel like like how Roast Battle was for a little bit in New York, where you were like, this is kind of fucking a thing.
It's
like we're kind of witnessing something.
In that video, Mr. T's in the audience, Henny Youngman's in the audience. There's celebrities in the audience.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I mean, to be honest, we still have nights like that, though. It depends. Those are special nights. There are sometimes at New York Comedy Club. I mean, the Comedy Cellar is so ridiculous because people go there intentionally, and they go there dressed up like it is like back then. People were like, that was their fucking night, man. They were so excited. They were going out to see live entertainment.
Strip.
That happens that happens when you're a draw, and that happens in special venues. And, Comedy Cellar is one of them. I've heard fucking Comedy Works in Denver is like that, like Acme, like places that just sell out because the venue is great and the people trust the venue to pick great comedy.
Yeah.
Request us.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, even if you don't live near in those states, just fire out a tweet. Hey, Comedy Works. Love to see Mike Feeney and Mike Gannon and Brendan Sagalow.
Well, and we were just talking about it. We might as well bring it up on the show just to wet the whistle and get people's interest. But this would be and obviously this has to wait, but this would be the perfect show to fucking take on the road because it's so playable live. We can include the audience. We can bring people on stage. They could play it with us. We could even do a Doug Loves Movie thing where, we represent one of you guys and then you vote on a winner with some arbitrary, metric system. Anything that you guys want. Like, I think this lends itself to a live show really well.
Totally. And also, like Doug Loves Movies, if there's ever a comic that we know that's in the area, they can come on as a guest and it could be fucking amazing.
We're the next Doug Loves Movies and Killed Tony. We just need a venue and following, and we're fucking off to the races, baby.
And
totally.
We need a vaccine.
Yes. that can wait.
Yeah. I think that's the most important thing so far.
Yes.
so we're allowed to go out publicly again.
I was talking to one of how can I say this without incriminating him? It was one of the people that is in a higher up position at one of the comedy clubs in New York City. And they were talking about they're still doing like some shows, with and they have a liquor license, and there's that SLA law that came out. And I just go, dude, how are you doing this? Like, what are you doing? You greasing the wheel? Like, what? Just tell me I just got to know how you're still able to do this. And then his response was just kind of like this. He's like, he's like, they came before the new SLA thing changed and gave us notes, and we said okay, and then they haven't come back since. And you're like,
that's crazy,
boy, oh boy. So it's just every single night, like, go long.
Yeah.
I mean, did they fine governors? Do you know?
No, I think they just shut it. I don't know. Oh, actually, if the state shut it down, I thought it was a thing. Are you saying that Long Island, like they shut it down, like just governors, or it was one of those things where they go, oh, no comedy clubs are allowed to open, so you had to
No,
close,
they
like
shut it
Uncle
down.
Vinny's did.
I know people that had dates this weekend. They shut it
Tim
down.
Dillon.
Yeah, and Chris DiStefano. He was Friday, Saturday, I think, and Tim was Thursday or whatever. Yeah, tomorrow. But they literally shut it down. So I wonder if they got fined or were fucked.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Weird. What? First of all, did you see how he just got up?
That was hilarious. He just went, "That's crazy." He just left.
But he also, dude,
he went like this.
He was like a Lego man.
Full turn. He went like this. He went like.
You got up weird, dude.
What do you mean?
I'll tell you. That's
Don't
what
burp.
I mean. I didn't even notice. that happened.
Does Nicole get mad when you fart in the shower?
In the shower? She gets mad when I'm bare-assed farting ever, and it is my greatest joy in life is to deliver. But I mean, in terms of that, there's just nothing either of us could do that neither of us have seen. We've known each other for too long. It's all wild.
Yeah.
But the jolt of disgust that she still gets from a bare ass, especially wet after the shower.
Yeah.
Well, that's why Erica hates it when you're in the shower because of the wetness. But I think that's the best time to do it. I'm actively cleaning my ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. The worst time to do it is after, which is when I like to do it. But I also like to, I'm like a golden retriever. If I get into a yard, I'm going to roll on it for a little while just to cover my scent. So I get out of a shower. I like to fart all over my body. So at least I'm not too fresh.
Yeah. I also realizing with having Jeet now that that thing is always cute when you see the dogs rolling on the grass. Cause like you said, they are trying to get their scent in it. But the only reason they do that is because they smell like other shit. And then they rub in the shit and they rub their face and their everything all over the other shit to cover up their shit smell. And you're like, well, that's not ideal.
No, not at all.
I also think, going back to the question, because I've been just thinking about this, it would be so cool, even though we wouldn't appreciate it at the time.
What is the question?
Never knew it.
I'm gonna jog your memory to see people like Gary Shandling and Seinfeld and stuff
decade?
Coming up and shit. Like you wouldn't, because you were born in that time, wouldn't understand what you're watching and like appreciate it the way we would now. But I think that would be so fucking cool.
Well, and I'll give you another thing that would be amazing about that, and it all intertwines with comedy, is that was an era of pure, unadulterated white male privilege. So I would love that. I would soak that up.
It was an abusive amount of power.
Yeah, we're now the sacrificial lambs because they live too high on the hog. Too many fucking Tim Allens got $100 million, so real talent like us is scraping by on fucking Patreon. It's unbelievable. That's the whole problem.
That's the funny part too, where you're like that. Where you're that.
Fuck you, Tim Allen. You fucking you narc bitch. You fucking cocksucker. What a fucking loser he is. The fact that he got with coke and then rolled over on his dealer and now is like this weird conservative mouthpiece where he's like, they just don't like my blue collar bullshit. It's like, no, you stink and you've always stunk. And now the chickens have come home to roost where there's too much shit for you to be on the air. You suck.
Yeah, I've always said Tekashi 6ix9ine is our generation's Tim Allen.
He is the Puerto Rican Tim Allen. Actually, kind of Lewis is. No.
Yeah, Lewis.
Feeney, what were you gonna say before?
I don't know. It's gone forever.
I'm sorry. I didn't know I felt that about Tim Allen.
Again. Oh, this is the thing I will say. All of what you guys said is well and good on that note and everything, but I don't know how old your parents are, but my parents aren't old enough to enjoy what we're talking about. This that early to mid 70s store. Like my mom would have been like 15 or 16. Like say she.
My parents were born in 55. So they would have had a good time.
They would have been like 19 or 20, right then?
Yeah.
So they would have been like,
in 50, or in 70, they'd be 15, and then 75, they'd be 20.
So it's like, so there wasn't as much of that. That's like if you were born in like, I feel like if you were born in the 40s, you would really appreciate like the Woodstock because then you'd be in your 20s and you could really like go crazy.
Yeah, but even when you're a teenager, like you appreciate music and art and stuff like that.
Right.
You go
Yeah,
out.
but if you can't, I'm saying you can't appreciate, Steve Martin and fucking everybody at the store when you're 13. You know what I mean? When they're all doing coke there, you're just like, what a funny night.
Yeah, although, I mean, Hollywood back then, people were banging 13-year-olds in the open. So it's like maybe you're just doing blow. You're just an old school Britney.
Yeah. Maybe there's tons of comics that were hanging around the store or whatever at 13.
Yeah. Dude, how sick is that Britney Spears was like 12 in a private jet from the Mickey Mouse Club just doing coke?
That is fucking cool.
That is a gnarly ass broad.
What do they do? What do they do with like expecting these people to survive? Like, how does nobody find out? How do the parents not find out she's doing coke?
Because she's making them so much money, they actively try not to.
Yeah, they don't.
I mean,
care.
could you look away though? I mean, from that, I mean that's just so egregious.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you found out your 12-year-old was doing blow, you'd be like, hey, it's a lot of money. You know what I mean? You'd be like, no, this is going to absolutely destroy their lives.
Or more likely
getting than all of us.
Or even more likely getting fucking fiddled by a top exec.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
that would be my fear.
So gnarly. That's like all that R. Kelly shit where they're like, they went backstage and they're like, I just thought he'd help her. It's like, what?
They just don't know. They're like, I guess this is cool. And also with Britney Spears' parents, it's like, I mean, he could not look away, but also in his peripheral is like 2 Lamborghinis. So he's like, maybe I can just.
But also they're like retard. Like they were retards going into show business, like from a southern small town. Their daughter had talent and they're like, plucky and just like, hey, we'll do whatever. We just won't be a part of it. This is awesome.
Dude, it's like that scene in Joe Dirt when he like meets his parents and they're just like, get a good look up of our little dolls.
Yes.
Get a close up of our dolls.
Get him. Oh God, I hated those parents.
Yeah, they were
but
awful.
that's like forgotten. That's forgotten a lot. Is that how simple Britney Spears comes from? And she's at this height. It's like, how could she not be insane, even if she's not predisposed to being mentally ill?
That's the same thing with Tanya Harding too.
Right?
Where like she was just essentially white trash.
Right. Yeah.
Do you think that in like a year or two, white trash is going to be like, like a really like a cancelable thing to have said on a podcast?
I don't think
like,
so.
Excuse me, white trash?
Maybe. You don't know. The pendulum might swing back and the
or
future
just keep adding to it.
Well, the future.
Did you see what Brian Callen's doing?
No.
Can I just say my thing because I think I'll lose it if I don't say it. I think in the future there might be like a weird mix of this white pride mixed with these liberal, like because right now it's like white pride, freedom, and it's stuff like that. But I think there'll be this weird hipster, white racism exists, like shit like that.
That already exists. That's a thing. That's
really
a very popular thing. Yeah. It's like the white nationalists now aren't just like, slack-jawed yokels from the South. There's some pretty educated white nationalists that have like real ethno, cleansing shit on basically hidden throughout what they say.
Oh,
they're just smart. They're smart people. And that is like almost a hipster version of what that is.
There is kind of like a little bit of that in that dude, Ben Shapiro.
Oh, there's a lot of that in him.
Yeah.
It's almost all that. Yeah.
It's mostly that.
I'm like, in the future, people will be Ben Shapiro.
Yeah. I think that's already happening. And the reason I brought that up, Brian Callen, is because now he's gone like full heel and he's going on all those super alt-right conservative podcasts and shows. He was just on like Crowder, and he's saying some real like crazy wild shit about races. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, man.
Strange.
Yeah, die a hero or live long enough to be the villain.
Well, that's what I think. We were talking about that the other night, where we go, there's almost no other option at this
I
point.
mean, just not doing it, just not.
Doing nothing is like then you're Dalia, then you're guilty for not. They're like, why the fuck hasn't he said anything? He is definitely guilty. And if you admit to it and go, I'm sorry, I'm a piece of shit, I'll go away for a while, then you're Louis, which everybody still hates. And it's like, well, you might as well just fucking go down, be the Roger Clemens. No, I never took steroids. Fuck you. You know.
I agree if it's over something you've said. I agree. Yeah. Or like, Louis, like not a legal thing, but like this is a brutal rape, like a physical crime. This is it's a little weird to be accused of rape and then to be like, and now I'll tell you what's wrong with the blacks.
But that's why what the fuck? But that's why he can't ever come back from that. Like even if he admits and says sorry and apologizes, like PR wise, he can never come back. No one's going to ever be like, it's been enough time. Let's hear your thoughts on the MMA. Right. You know what I mean? Like, it's just going to be,
it's going to be weird forever.
It's forever. And the only people that are going to stay with him are going to be the diehard. The show he's on he's gone. All that is going to be gone. The only thing he's going to have is that. So might as well instead, the only part of your fan base that will stay with you, that will stay with somebody who's accused of rape, are going to be like diehard, like people who are.
Could you live like that? Could you live if those were your fucking fans? If you had to do that, could you live with yourself?
If I was a guy who could live with myself for raping someone, then yeah, probably.
Yeah, good point.
But
what if you couldn't live with yourself raping someone? And
then you probably would be quiet and admit and just say, "Well, it's been a good run, bye everybody," and leave. Yeah. But I have a feeling that I don't know. And again, I don't even all of that shit. He says no. They say in pretty good detail with backup witnesses, yes. So it's like, I don't know, man.
Yeah. I figure it out.
Yeah. Give me more evidence one way or the other, because, I mean, it's looking pretty clear one way.
I mean, Bieber set the standard, dude, when he got accused of sexual assault, and he had motherfucking receipts just being like, didn't, what now? And it's like Dalia tried to kind of do his own version of that, but he had like 3 half-assed emails and like, I told you I didn't. And it's like, what?
Yeah. One is like obviously written by him. That's like, and I also like you.
and thank you for agreeing to have sex with me once I said yes.
Also, I heard you have a new special coming out in 2021 called, he just plugs himself.
I mean, whatever. I think that was a good point, though, when you're like, yeah, if you did rape a person, what kind of person could,
there's no coming back. So you just, at that point, just fucking go for it, man. I mean, if people are willing to have you on, then that's, who are you?
Well, let's just be on his side for 1 second. What if he didn't think it was?
I thought that was on his side.
Oh, of course he doesn't. Of course he doesn't think.
Was like, what if he genuinely thinks like?
Of course he doesn't.
No, that wasn't a rape. I mean, it was a little weird, but it wasn't.
That's self-preservation. Also, I bet most, if not all, rapists. I mean, well, especially within like dating scenarios, I bet none of them think they're rapists. How could they?
True.
They're probably like, no, everything that just happened is my kink, and that was her kink, and we fucked, and like, that's that. Like, okay, great.
Except for Ted Bundy.
Right.
Bundy.
Well, no, I'm saying there's other people.
He was like, oh, I know what I was doing for sure.
Like Vince Champ used to rape those girls and then make them pray with him.
That's fucking weird.
So he like was aware of what he was doing and that he was just full fucking evil.
Didn't he like manipulate it to be like,
of course, like a religious
you
thing.
Of something.
Yes, 100%. He was absolving sins, even
weird,
through
man.
His penis.
That must mean guys that do that think that it's not rape, and then like that happens, they must get away with way more of that. Because they're putting out that energy of like, this isn't weird. Are you confused? I'm not confused. And then the woman is like, oh no, I'm not confused either.
Right.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, it's kooky. And we know people, and we've heard recently that like after hearing the allegations, obviously, they didn't witness anything, but it fit the profile for how he behaved around them.
Right.
Like you know, they were like, we found it like kind of funny, but like a little inappropriate when we were around him at first. But then, like, you know, after a while, you know, once we heard the allegations, we were like, oh, that lines up with what was happening.
Yeah.
Weird, right? That's exactly what you were saying, is when you have that air about you and it's just what it is, you know, it's like it can make everything gray and weird.
Whoa.
That's also why it's such a fucking tough law to legislate, because who the fuck knows what's going on?
Yeah. And there's all of these things that happen where it should look like clear or like, you know, a cut. What's that called? Cut. Clear cut. I said it. I said the word earlier. I said the word earlier. The things.
What is it? Clear cut.
There's things that look like a clear-cut case, and then the woman is like, no, I wanted that. Like, she's like, I'm lying. That didn't happen. And it's like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, you know, I don't know how often that happens, aside from maybe movies you've watched. But, I mean, there are definitely people, like in that R. Kelly case, he fucking paid off their family to say that's not our daughter. And like, weird. You know, yeah, it's crazy. You know, stuff happens all the time. It's a really fucked up, weird system that, you know, who knows? Yeah. I don't know. The whole is three white guys figuring out rape. We'll be right back.
Yeah, what's the question?
What's wrong with the world?
Yeah.
I'll do another question here. What if your upcoming birthday was your last? What would you do to celebrate it?
Ooh.
What would be your last birthday celebration?
I already know.
Well, shoot for the moon.
I don't know if they have it up still, but in 2018 in Texas, they built a full replica of Hell Track from Rad. And if that's up, I would go there. I would take all my friends and we would ride Hell Track.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, how much money would that cost to do?
I don't know. I'd figure it out.
Okay.
I bet, I mean, enough money where also if people, I wouldn't be, you know, I would be telling people that it's my last birthday. Yeah. And then I would say, you have to spend money on a plane ticket.
You have to.
Yeah.
So it's not on me.
Funny.
Yeah, it's not on me.
What are those called? What kind of weddings are those?
Cash bar?
Arranged?
No, the one where you have to like buy your own ticket and go somewhere and everything. And
like, destination.
Yeah, you would have a destination last birthday.
Yeah, yes, I would.
It's not a bad idea, dude.
I mean, what else could you do?
I think I would try to do it all in a weekend and do like 3 completely different things and like have the first night or Saturday or whatever. No, first night in like Vegas with all my friends. Mm-hmm. And then Sunday, and then, you know, Saturday something would happen. And then Sunday would be at like, you know, somewhere incredibly relaxing, far from everything, where I can just die in peace. That would be my birthday.
Die in peace.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I would go.
Hold on, I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's your last birthday, you're not dying on your birthday. You might have 364 more days of life.
Oh, I assumed you were dying the next day.
Me too.
Yeah, at the stroke of midnight.
I just thought you just didn't have another birthday.
No, you're dead.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's why I thought it was weird Mike didn't tend to spend it with his family and kid, but I...
Hell Track.
Last day, Hell Track with the boys.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'll tell your kid you had a great time.
And honestly, I'd probably be too scared to drop in, so we'd get there and I'd just watch.
Come on, pussy, you're dying tomorrow. Just do it.
That'd be even worse. So you get to Hell Track with all your friends on your last birthday, and as you're walking your bike up to where the ramp is, you twist your ankle and can't do it.
You spend your last hours in a hospital.
And then you just see like it just cuts to
the rest of the world.
It just cuts to all of us doing really well. Brendan goes over a ramp, does like a tail whip, and lands it. He's like, "This is so much fun, Mike."
That'd be awesome.
And it's easy.
And you're just in a chair with a fucking foot cast on, like a leg cast, just like
Binoculars.
Like a guy from Rad. Actually, there is a scene when they're about to race Hell Track. There's a rider with his leg in a cast, and he goes, "Hey crew, sign my cast for me." And he goes, don't be intimidated by those guys."
dude, everybody's signing your cast. Sucks. What happened about the death thing?
But do you know that they almost didn't get people to race? That like they were at first, all the pros that went to go film the final thing when they went to Hell Track, none of them would go down the hill or that big face. They were all scared. They were like, "This is like 2 stories. What the fuck? We're not dropping in."
No shit.
It's insane.
Wow.
And then this is like the most troubling thing that I got out of the Rad interview, but it was still the best because it's the 80s. But Bill Allen was like, "Yeah, but you know, this one kid, he was like 15 years old. He was one of the riders, and I think he was a little more scared of his dad, of what his dad would do to him than if he dropped in. And so he was the only one that dropped in." And I was like, "Wait, what? Like this guy that's going to be in a movie, or he was a 14-year-old pro BMXer because his dad hit him into it?" Like, that's terrifying. That's a terrifying anecdote.
Dude, I want to see this movie now. I mean, I've always wanted to see the
That's
movie.
so
but...
funny to say that.
It's
Now,
also,
today he sold you on it. Just today,
but
he's
I wanna
been
see what
talking
that-
about it for 7 years.
yeah. It's really like, I mean, actually, Feeney, you've never said you wanted to see it, so
I've watched it with you twice.
you have?
Yes, at your apartment in Manhattan when you lived in Manhattan. Actually, once in Manhattan and once on the Upper East Side and once again in Brooklyn.
Is that true?
100%. The first one was your Upper East Side apartment that I was like, I came after a show and then we just smoked and you're like, "You want to see the best thing you've ever seen?" And then you put it on.
Oh, I'm a bad hang.
But Mike was sitting on the end of the couch like this the whole time, like, yeah, you tell him.
He's mouthing it.
yeah.
That's so funny. I just want to see what this ramp looks like.
It's pretty cool.
Well, can I tell you what I would do?
Yes.
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 Because Brendan's relaxing.
How long have we
final
been
day.
going for?
3 or 4 hours.
I have not been timing us. So I would assume we've got about.
We've done like 50 minutes.
No
yeah,
way
I'm
we
sure.
have. We didn't come over here until we didn't start till like 10:15 or 10:20, dude.
Oh, really?
And
Yeah,
It's
'cause-
10:54 now.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So
we're-
we're like probably 30 to 40.
Let's do
Doesn't
another
matter. None
hour.
of this
We're
needs
almost
to be
done.
in there. But I will say this, Brendan, I would go so far the opposite of you, man. I would not have just a relaxing kind of a day. I would want to go balls to the wall. I'm talking like I'm gonna get high on speed. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna
You have to sprint through the finish line.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm going top fuel cars. That'll like, you know what I'm saying? Like I want a car chase while I'm doing 103 on a custom built bike.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? On the highway.
Yes.
I'm gonna
Weaving in a Ducati, dude, and then just at the last minute getting absolutely eviscerated by a
Hell
Mack
yeah.
truck.
Hell yeah, dude! I changed my answer to Feeney's answer.
Yeah, me
Wait,
too.
I'm not even done yet.
Convoy, and you don't even have to
Yeah,
finish.
And then I'm gonna fucking skydive completely naked from an airplane, just fucking, or with a lady, either or. And then because I got trouble in my eyes, you guys. I'm just
Not
looking for
your-
another good time. Are you ready now? Whoa, yeah, kickstart my heart, baby, that's start. I said, oh, yeah, baby. So I would do with my
I love
last
it.
day, I would do the lyrics to Kickstart My Heart.
Hell yeah, dude!
That's what that all was.
That's awesome. I love.
What a
that
great
idea.
day.
Yeah,
Same answer.
same answer. Let's just do that on our birthdays and die.
I am open to this being my last birthday.
All right, let's do another question. Here we go. What if while you were on stage, I changed this because the original question kind of sucked, but what if
tell us?
I wanted to tell you guys because I've been getting a lot of shit for not writing these questions.
He wants us to know that Lil Brendan put in a bit of effort. He scratched out a word and wrote 2 others.
This is good. I'm excited. There's a lot of pressure on this one now. Go ahead.
First of all, the question we know, it's what if while you were working? And then Brendan changed it. What if while you were on stage?
No,
they're 100%.
No, the question was, what if this happened right now? So I was like, let's change this fucking question. So what if while you were on stage, your clothes just disappeared and you were completely naked? What would you do?
I mean, there's a whole version of comedy show that does this where you're naked. I just have to be like, this is the show, folks. So you know what I mean? Like whatever you'd have to. I wouldn't
freak out immediately.
I mean, sure, but then I would assume, even if, like, pretty shortly after somebody's naked, everybody will start laughing. You know what I mean? Yes. Like, just as like a tittery thing to themselves. Yes. So there's a great opportunity there, because there's not more heightened tension than going from seeing me with clothes on to split second I'm completely naked in front of a room full of people and I'm the only one that's naked. Gonna be some tension in there, you know? And I think some of the easiest saves on the planet might get you a standing ovation.
I just know it wouldn't be my best version of soft dick.
It's never going to be. I just That's know. What's funny.
Yeah, it would be so bad.
And you'd say that it is like we've been doing this so long that like there's the instinct to have to talk into the microphone. Any normal person would be like, what? God, what the fuck happened? And then like covering up. I'd cover up for a second. I'd be like, what is happening here, folks?
That's what I'm saying, dude. We'd all do that. Of course we would.
I would just do the Jim Carrey Ace Ventura and turn around, speak into the mic, and just spread my cheeks.
No, that's only funny because he's wearing pants.
I need to ask you a few questions.
No, you're just doing that with your ball skin.
That was too much.
Oh, okay. I will tone it down next time. Your face is gone.
I know.
When you did that.
I tried to do it again.
Crazy. All right. One more?
Yeah.
I think this is a good one. What if you could have a different name? What name would you choose?
John Mulaney.
That's fucking hilarious. I would be like Connor Flames. Connor Flames.
Yeah.
That's a cool name.
That's pretty good for literally sounding it out on camera.
Yeah. That was great. I'd be Rathbone. Rathbone Simpson.
Simpson, huh?
Rathbone?
Yeah, Rathbone Simpson.
Rathbone does sound like an off Simpsons character from an episode.
Yeah.
That's like Marge's stepbrother or something.
Yeah, who gets hit in the balls with a football.
Uncle Rathbone.
Yeah, he's like super cool, but she fucking is worried about him or something.
That is just
gets
a
along
Simpsons
with the kids.
episode.
Is it?
Yeah.
What episode?
The one they do it in every show. The Family Guy did it too with Lois's stepbrother, who was the fat guy strangler.
Oh yeah, that show rules.
It does rule.
We rule.
All right, yeah, we rule.
Thank you, everybody. That was Blunts with the
listening.
Boys. Thank you for being a Patreon member. This is our bonus episode where we get super duper high and have a conversation with each other. Sometimes it has a point. Sometimes we get serious, and sometimes we just discuss a fellow comedian's rape scandal. Be sure to tell some friends, pass the word around. Thank you again.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo.